everybody.
Hi, everybody. I wore this because it's nice and like wintry for our dear friends back east who have suffered a couple big slams of winter storms. So,
Plus, you look gorgeous in
yeah, thank you.
Welcome to episode 41, Getting Back to Me, Both Sides of the Story with Marcy and Scottie.
And we keep getting some new followers every week, which is really fun. Thank you
cool.
all for joining us.
We're going to leave the contest open for our titles because we got two really sweet things.
Oh, titles of what we call
Yeah,
each
we got
other?
Beloved from Contici and Amore from our friend Saroj in Italy. But those are still kind of in the category of my love. So what we're looking for something that has a little bit more that we can tell to other people.
I already told you, I'm done. I like my love. So if you want to keep the contest open, if we find something better, fine.
We'll let it go one more week.
Okay.
And then we'll just go with my love. Okay.
Just?
No.
That's what we're famous for.
Okay. If I go to DMV, oh, wow.
You tell them.
Okay, this is
my love. In fact, you don't go to DMV and say anything about the fact that you're married.
Well, but
they don't care.
That's true.
It's your license.
Okay.
Okay, getting back to you.
Or getting back to me.
Right, that's what I just said.
Right. Today we're on chapter 35, which I've been sort of...
Out of how many?
Out of 39. And then we'll start in Marcy's, because guess whose book went to the editor last night? Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I actually started to write about this in RBW last week in my Raised by Wolves blog about this subject. And so it's so weird because I put it away because I thought, you know what, I can't even write about this right now. But without further ado, this is chapter 35, the C word. The C word.
Oh, the C word.
Let me set it up for you.
That's C, not...
Right. I was driving, minding my own business, as they say, and I came to a four-way stop, and the car went in front, across me, and since I was the last girl to the party, it was not my turn next, and I probably could have pushed it and gone with that car, but I didn't. I waited for the car on my right, and that car made a left-hand turn, and now it's my turn. And as I start to go, the second car on that same turn shoots in front of me. And I beat my horn because I was afraid, and almost, the guy cut me off. And I get this gigantic finger out the driver's side window. I don't know what happened to me.
A particular finger.
A particular finger.
Wasn't the forefinger?
Yeah, no, I think they got it. But I don't know what happened. Something inside of me snapped. And I made a left turn, and I followed this guy, and he pulled over, and I pulled in behind him. And I sat there like a serial killer watching him in his car and delighting in the fact that he had no idea who he pissed off. Well, he took off, and I took off, and I kept on. Now I'm following him. Now I'm crossing the line. I'm doing something really kind of borderline stupid, but I'm so angry. And I have no idea what I'm going to do, even when I get him. Anyways, long story short, we finally pull up side by side. And he rolls down his window, and I can see that he's got his wife sitting next to him. And she's mortified. But he launches at me the C word. And, well...
And then...
Did I just hear what I thought I heard? He did not just call me the C word. My blood pressure spikes. But testosterone, the little bit that I still have in my veins, loves this and clears my head and drops me further into serial killer mode. My rage implodes into a black hole of evil as his words echo through my head. I see his wife trying to vanish into the passenger seat. Did he just call me the C word? Does he really want this to go the way it's going? But estrogen wins out. So I put on my best, sugary sweet 16-year-old blonde voice and looked past his wife to say, "Does he kiss you with that mouth?"
Great response.
Thank you. But that wasn't the problem, right? As he drove off, called me the C word again, because he's so clever. As soon as he got away, my body started racking with rage and sadness that I'd lost my cool. And it wasn't that I got a dig in on him. It was that I didn't destroy him more, but also that I could have these feelings. And so I came through the door and I came right to you and I said, "I just got called the C word." And what did you say?
Congratulations. Now you know what it's like. And you wondered if you have been passing with people. I think that's a pretty big sign that you accepted as a woman.
Oh God, that is so messed up on so many levels. On so many levels. And I will say that you're not alone in that response.
I know.
Every time we tell this story,
wow, you must feel really great.
all of our girlfriends
you
go,
made
"Oh,
it."
congratulations." So it's like a rite of passage.
Right.
That's so messed up.
Of course. Well, none of us likes it.
Of course.
But for you, I mean, I would not like to be called that. But for you, in light of your transitionation, it definitely was a unfortunate way to affirm that you're doing well with your transition.
Right. Okay. And so the next layer of that for our audience is the feelings that having even a little bit of testosterone left in my body still felt like battery acid in my veins, and it made me so angry with myself. And then what did you say?
We have this discussion quite a bit.
Which is why I was going to write a blog about it.
Mostly having to do with your way of looking at women and men, girls and boys, testosterone and estrogen. And I think I keep trying to say, you can't categorize that cleanly. You can't draw that line. Because I've done the same thing. I guess I have some testosterone in my body, but I don't attribute it to that. To me, we've said this, but it comes back to being human. And I don't know if it's that so much happens in our lives that we're out of control of. And then we have an experience like that where, again, we're out of control, at least for that moment where that person takes away our right or our whatever it is, and we gotta rail at something. I've chased people down, and I'm driving thinking, this is really stupid. It's a man. He could do anything to me. He could shoot me. We don't know if the person has a gun, and more. So I'm more cautious than I used to be, because now I realize there could be life and death consequences to being that way. But it doesn't mean I'm not that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think your response was great. I think we all need more things like that. That's a great comeback. And then, he's going to hear it from his wife the whole rest of the way home.
Right.
It's funny because we hate seeing somebody else lose it. And we don't like to lose it. But there is something. I know one thing I've also said to you, and then is, why do you even... I try not to use this language, so I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I also catch you in language like, that guy just cut me off. And I say, he didn't cut you off. He cut off the car that was in the intersection, which you happen to be driving. But if we stop taking it personally and just realize... And sometimes I've cut people off. Sometimes on purpose, because I'm pissed at them. Sometimes just by accident, or, I'm sorry, it wasn't my turn, or that was a bad move, or I didn't think you were coming at me that fast, whatever it is, but...
So everybody does it. Okay, but so...
Don't you think?
I'm wondering, though, in what just came up for me, and yes, this has been an ongoing conversation in our house for a very long time, and it's because I have defined my world in boys and girls because it was, you know, it's what life looks like when you're on the other side of a fence you shouldn't be on, or you feel like you shouldn't be on. So I guess what gets me in these situations is I feel like your reassurance that it's not a gender thing, because when I say boys do this and girls do that, and boys are angry and girls are not, girls are smarter with their anger, you know, there's two things I want to talk about. One is, and I'm maybe coining this for the very first time, do I hold and have a very high bar of expectation on what being a woman is? That's a huge conversation.
Yeah.
The other side of it is that whenever you're reassuring me, it's not reassuring me, or it's not, I guess I haven't taken it as you're reassuring me that my actions are okay.
Right.
What I'm taking it as is my way of looking at that is what's in question, that there's boys and girl ways of doing things, which I try to get away with the disclaimer that says, you know, for me, inside of me, only me, only me, only me. Anything I don't like about my past behavior, I label boy if I don't like it. And if it's good and it's going to stay with us on the rest of the journey, then it's labeled girl, it gets to stay. You know, that's how I've labeled it, because I can tell, you know, they didn't have boy and girl as names in the categories when I was using them. They had survival and default. My default is as a woman, and my survival mechanism was the things I had to do with that in order to, you know, it's like why did I always work my way into, and I'm admitting to all you all out there, including the TCF boys, yes, I figured out a way to direct every one of our freaking shows until they got pissed off that I was taking all the directing spots. Why? I like to be in charge, because if I'm in charge, then I can make sure that I'm not going to do something stupid. We're not going to go do something. Because I was raised with those wolves, you know. They want to go off and throw rocks through windows when they're little, and I had a boy.
Yeah, but look who got the window in It's a Wonderful Life. Donna Reed.
Okay, but I was the victim of it, right? I was with a whole bunch of boys on a birthday party once, and it was when, you know, testosterone is starting to rear its ugly head.
A weird way to put it.
Yeah, well, gross. So we're all walking with Frank, and it's his birthday, Frankie. And
Hi, Frankie.
Somebody said, well, what if a girl was with us right now? And I was wearing my varsity jacket, which has buttons, right? I had my hands in my pocket. And he turned me, and he goes, well, I would do this. And he grabbed me, and he just ripped open my jacket, and then he reached in and grabbed my chest.
Wow.
And I was like, horrified.
If only he knew.
Right? Right? But I was like, you know, this could go south so fast. Because I don't know how I got here. I don't know how to get out. And now I got to be cool. And I'm embarrassed. And I'm shocked. And I got feelings blowing through my body like you cannot believe.
This is cable, right?
Right. And I've got 10 hungry wolves around me, all looking at, you know, so I can't make it look like you can't show weakness, so I can't show...
You can show you took it personally.
Right.
Because you still have to pretend you're one of the boys and laugh at it.
Yeah,
I would do that
too. Yeah, oh my God. So I went, you know, no. Because this is what they can do when they're unchecked. So that's why I always figured out a way to get in charge so that we would go someplace where we weren't going to be embarrassed or shocked. And that didn't mean I was an angel.
No, but...
I built a brick wall in school, you know. But it was... So I did that.
But also they wouldn't have done that.
Correct. But I also...
That was just the boy posturing around the fire.
That part doesn't matter, right? Because I didn't trust that they wouldn't do it. Because I got into this situation so fast without any knowledge or you know, I was so surprised by it that it was like, well, I at least don't want to make this mistake again. But my point is that I know how to take in me. Those are how I categorize boy thought, girl thought, boy thought, girl thought. So when we get into these conversations and you say, well, that's not a gender thing, or that's not well, inside of me it is. because I look at it that way. And I'm not saying it should be that way for everybody else.
Well, and I'm not sure it always will be. I guess I see it also as you've had a pendulum swing. You have been all the way over here. So I understand that you're kind of researching, experimenting, looking at the whole other end of that spectrum or pendulum swing, and at some point you'll land in the middle. So I'm not really surprised you're like overly doing it, because you're trying to find your place. But get over
compassionate.
Oops. I missed the compassionate line. You want to say that again?
Okay. Well, and I think so that it's too big a subject to get into, but I didn't realize, or maybe I did realize it for a while, but I just haven't said it out loud about holding myself to expectations of being a woman.
Well, that's a good one. We can look at more, but there was one more piece about the pendulum that I also thought of an analogy, and that is how often an actor will talk about that there really are some roles after they've shot the movie or done the play that they have a hard time letting go of.
Huh.
And you've been an actor.
Oh yeah.
So you're trying to get out of, trying to get off that stage and realize, wait, those aren't really my feelings. I took those on for the part.
Oh, all day long I am doing that. All day long I'm finding, I was saying, I think I wrote about it in the book, that I'm undoing firewalls, but it's firewalls upon firewalls upon firewalls upon firewalls of protection. So I'm coming upon that. It's like, oh, well, we think this about that. No, we don't. Why would we think that way about that? That's really weird. And so every single thought I have.
You had to maintain it 24/7. Like some actors will not even interact with other actors. They go to their trailer, they stay in character. But even then, it's for a finite period. You had it for 50 some odd years. So
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yep, let's wrap it up.
Not because of anything other than respect for you and your time.
Right.
Right.
And Scottie could go on all day if she doesn't get checked.
Don't even. That's something else we've been talking about.
But let's just reveal all our dirty laundry. Look, here's some socks, here's some panties.
I also want to... Don't worry about the socks and panties. Bella will swallow them. Our dog eats socks. Will somebody please? I mean, 3 times we've found...
I think there's some nutritional value in your socks,
you know. Throw up, and what is that? And,
okay, we don't... That's too much.
And there's a sock in it.
I know, there was this...
A sock!
One time Marcy lost 2 socks, and it wasn't a pair.
The least she could do. Well, but I wrote my vet. I thought, we're either bad doggy parents or there's something really wrong with Bella. And I said, should we be worried about the fact that our dog eats socks? And she said, well... she said, dogs have really varying tastes. Some dogs will eat any old sock, and some prefer the dirty ones. But watch out for your underwear, too. So I thought, well, I guess that's kind of a confirmation that it happens elsewhere, not just in our house. But
yeah. Okay, anyway. Pet tips this morning on getting to be both sides of the story.
Pumpkin. Canned pumpkin. Not pumpkin
else?
Pie. Okay, I think that does it for now.
Radiate
for
light.
The dog, that is. Radiate.
Light,
laughter,
and love.
And love.